Check this out. Check it out.
To Youngstown, where a 13-year-old girl is dead after a shooting on the south side early this morning. Police are ruling this shooting a homicide.
A sad day for Youngstown today. A 13-year-old girl, as you said, was shot and killed on the south side just after midnight. This was on the 400 block of Carroll Street. Now detectives tell First News teenagers were in the street when a fight broke out and shots were fired. It is unclear at the moment who all was involved in the incident. Police have not confirmed whether or not there are any suspects or arrests. Now, this is the 5th homicide in Youngstown this year so far, and the 2nd homicide with a victim under the age of 18 years old.
Around 12:30 a.m. on May 19th, 13-year-old London Jones was murdered as her mother attended an outdoor party. The suspect was quickly identified as London's mother's best friend, 29-year-old Shamara Green. According to police, Green began arguing with someone when she pulled out a gun and began firing. One of the bullets hit London, who was on the sidewalk. A man who was also present was hit in the foot. Green was taken into custody several hours after the shooting, after she was questioned several times by detectives. Detectives also said in the immediate aftermath of London's death that they were frustrated because several witnesses outright lied, and also because a young girl was outside late on a school night. Defense attorney Mark Lavelle said Green is not an evil person, but she made a horrible mistake. He said that night Green was knocked down during an argument and shot the person she was arguing with in the foot. Green was ultimately sentenced to 7 to 9 years in prison on a charge of involuntary manslaughter with a firearm specification.
New information, a Liberty woman is going to prison for killing her best friend's 13-year-old daughter. Shamara Green was sentenced this morning to at least 7 years by Judge Kirschbaum. In September, she pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter for killing London Jones. The girl was shot last May during a block party in Youngstown. Police said Green was on Carroll Street arguing with someone, then pulled out a gun and fired several shots. London was standing on the sidewalk when she was hit. The victim's mom says she cries every night, wondering when the pain will stop.
To know my baby was to love her. Her smile would brighten up a room. The love she gave, you could feel from miles away. I hurt much as they hurt, and that if I could change this that day, I would love to change it. It's not that I don't go about, that I think about, what had happened.
Judge Kirschbaum said he does not understand why people use guns to solve fights because everyone loses in the end. Dynasty Jones, London's sister, also said her life has been shattered since London's death.
I know I can't change it, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all.
Okay. An emotional apology in a Youngstown courtroom today as a woman is sentenced for killing a teenage girl. Good evening. I'm Lindsay Watson.
And I'm Samantha Bender in for Dave Sess.
That shooting happened back in May, but months later, the pain is still very real for all of the people involved in this tragic case.
First News morning anchor Anna Marsick brings us the emotional statements from court.
No more graduations, no more birthdays, no more holidays, no more anything.
A courtroom filled with emotion as 29-year-old Shamara Green was sentenced to 7 to 9 years in prison for the May 19th shooting death of 13-year-old London Jones.
I know I can't change it, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You bear the responsibility for that. Someone is injured. You can't call that an accident. It's an intentional act because you know what a gun can do.
Green pleaded guilty in September on charges of involuntary manslaughter. Police say she was at an outdoor party on Carroll Street arguing with someone, then pulled out a gun and fired several shots. London was just standing on the sidewalk when she was hit.
I hurt much as they hurt, and that if I could change this that day, I would love to change it. It's not that I don't go about, that I think about, what had happened.
Dynasty Jones, London's sister, says this death shattered her, and it hurts even more because Green was so close to their family.
We loved you like you was ours, but I don't think you cared and you loved us like we loved you. I don't think you cared about me or London when you pulled that gun out and started shooting that night. I feel you didn't care who lives was in your hand at that moment. My baby sister was out there.
I talk to kids every day, I see them kids every day. I want to see them all the time. I picked them up from school. Like, they was my own.
London's mom says her daughter was uplifting and had a bright soul.
To know my baby was to love her. Her smile would brighten up a room. The love she gave, you could feel from miles away.
Thank you for watching our digital media, and thank you for your support.